Is that what that feels like?
White, white snake on the TV?
White snake on the TV.
Yeah.
What?
The band?
What's that song they sing?
What?
What are we talking about? I hit my elbow.
And then white snake on
Hayden
TV.
says, does it feel like white noise on a TV? And Tim says, yeah, the white snake?
Yeah.
What? Are you?
TV?
Who knows?
I was hoping you would know.
I forgot what that. I just think of that video. I don't know what that song's called. Something about roses, right?
What? What are you talking about?
What's White Snake's famous song?
Oh, White Snakes is a band.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're making progress.
Oh my God, what is? Is this love
It's
that I'm feeling? Yeah, that's the White Snake song.
All right, Tim Bob, with it being your birthday,
Yeah.
Is he gonna kick us off? I'm already done.
kick us off this week, man.
Welcome everyone to the special birthday podcast for me, Tim, and with my special hosts, as always, Hayden and Zach, and with my beautiful girlfriend, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey. Hey, y'all.
This is the Mochi podcast. The coolest cat now has a podcast. Is that what it is? Thank you. I think I got it right. Anyway.
Not quite.
Is it not? But it's my birthday, so just let it go. Anyway. What is it?
That was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Stop!
What?
Don't do that.
That was it.
Zach was like,
It's just every time I say something wrong, you guys just put like a buzzer sound in it.
no, it's just like,
That's close.
Zach just looks at the camera like he's from The Office, like,
Jim Halpert, yeah.
Anyway.
It's Tim's birthday. Happy birthday, Tim Bob, the boulder, the man. The
how old are you
myth.
now? 45, 46?
I am 26 years old.
26. Woo. Getting on up there, son.
Yeah, you're older than me.
What?
I mean, we're all 26 except for Hayden and Sarah now.
What?
Hayden's 25.
Lake's
25.
not.
Yeah, y'all are old, man.
Lake's not Lake's not either.
He's
okay?
in the room.
Lake is a baby.
He's 15 feet down the hall. Yeah.
Lake is 15 years old. I thought you were going to say that.
No. Soaking wet. Anyway,
Lake is
What?
15 years old, soaking wet.
I mean, it would be the same, I guess.
He's 18, soaking wet. We'll say that.
Okay.
Lake just looked at him like, what's going on, man?
All the Lake fans are just like, oh God, he's 15.
It's like the only reason we have any, like,
Oh, he's 18.
female
okay.
listeners. Lake.
But it's Tim Bob's birthday. Happy
Yes.
birthday. It was a good day. I think it was a good day.
Yeah, me and Zach went bowling.
Yes, we did.
How was
Because
And I whooped him.
he whooped me
Whooped him!
if Sarah, did he beat me one time?
I wasn't there for most of the...
I
Damn,
did.
I was at
Okay.
Target.
I did. It's okay.
I believe
did.
Zach.
Yeah, Zach beat me every single time.
Like all
Audio
of-
listeners
So
are
you're-
like, yeah, dude, Zach's good.
So Zach is
Video
a-
people? Nah.
No, Zach is a secret bowling fiend. I didn't know that, Zach. You were
That's
just
true.
He's just like he's one with the bowling ball.
It's
If
different.
I had to think that like Zach was like a sports ball, it'd be the bowling ball
It
for
would be
sure.
the bowling
Sports
ball.
ball.
And Tim would be my pin to my bowling ball.
Wow.
I just knock him down.
Or the ball returner.
You
Whatever.
hear that, Linda?
Whooped.
Okay.
Whooped you. Got whooped, man. You got stomped.
You actually
Stomped it.
you actually converted the van to a bowling alley lane.
It's a mini lane.
Just play
That would be sick. All right,
I'm gonna
we're
buy,
redoing it.
I'm gonna
We're gonna
scrap
gut the
it.
van.
Another year of Mochi podcast with Zach because he has to redo the van again.
Yeah.
Just think of new ways to keep Zach here.
Like I'm gonna buy you just like one of those like kid pins.
Come on, Hayden. Damn.
Was that me?
Dude, that came from like down under. Dude.
Was that a burp?
yeah. It was not that bad.
What did you eat?
What did I eat? I've been eating gummy worms, boy.
That's not gummy worms, boy.
I haven't had anything
From
since.
like the trenches. Like, dude, that was like a hot heat was like in my mouth.
So for the audio listeners,
You guys are saying weird things right off the
Hayden
get-go,
burped,
man.
like right in
I did
Zach's
not.
area.
I burped.
and now he is dying.
Oh man, I got like kind of a story that goes along with that about people choking.
Oh, this is pretty
Ooh.
hot.
I don't know. I don't know if I should wait until like we talk about trips on the next podcast.
No,
or whatever.
just go for it. I want to hear you choking people.
I didn't choke anybody,
Freak.
but I kind of want to. We can go. We can go into this. 3 years ago, by this point, I want to say. Yeah. 3 years ago, Jay and Jacob and I took a trip to Chattanooga, and we stayed there for the weekend. And the night before we were going to the Chattanooga Aquarium, I want to say.
Okay.
The night before we got Taco Bell, and I had like a little bit, and in the morning I had like a leftover quesadilla. So I ate it for breakfast that morning. Typical good breakfast. So I went to the aquarium, and if anybody's ever had Taco Bell, it makes you very gassy. So, and I believe we were in the aquarium. I believe it was the jellyfish section, like the jellyfish room. Just want to say I let a few go in the jellyfish room.
Did you kill the jellyfish?
Not quite. As we were walking out, like a family of like 4 or 5
fell. They collapsed.
That they walked in.
Fainted.
They walked in there, and then they immediately walked out, and the little kids were all like. And like Jay and Jacob knew immediately what happened. Then I just farted in that, like crop dusted the entire room and just walked away.
Oh my gosh,
That's a way to start.
So
the
I have a
podcast.
history. I have a history of killing people with that kind of stuff.
With my odors from down under.
God, that was rough.
God, man.
But happy birthday, Tim.
Wow, thank you.
Stumped you in bowling, and that's just how it is. Sometimes that's just how it be.
I wish Slat would have came. I was supposed
So
to.
tell me
pick up-
about that. You were supposed to like check him out of school or something.
Yeah, I
It
was
was just
supposed to-
crazy that you're checking out this kid from school.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, man, just he was gonna not check out. He was just gonna dip. He was just like, he goes, yeah, fucking, I'm gonna graduate. He's like, my teacher's gonna graduate me. I mean, it's pretty much like Namir was the same way. Like, this kid's being successful. We're not gonna fail him because we're gonna take away from I mean, he obviously has stuff that he has to do, but he was just gonna leave and come bowling with us. But I got there, waited for him at the school to get him, and he wasn't texting me back, so I thought he was like doing an assignment or something.
Right.
And come to find out, he was just playing basketball, which is the obvious reason. I mean, you don't text and play basketball, but
Right.
I was like, no, I want to go bowling with Sarah and Zach, but yeah.
It's very good.
So over the holidays, one of the main reasons why we're having Sarah on this week, other than because we love her, is over the holidays she got a present from your dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bought her a thing that we sell at Best Buy called 23andMe.
You guys sell those at Best Buy?
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do one of those, honestly.
cool.
They're cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about them.
Well, you're about to learn a lot about them
Yeah.
because Sarah.
You get like results really quick too.
Oh,
It's like
sick.
less than a month.
Yeah, 6
Yeah.
weeks.
Wow.
Was it? I thought it was 6 weeks.
No, I did it on like the first week of December, and I got it like a few days after the New Year.
Okay.
So you just do it and mail it off, and
Yeah, you just like you
They-
get a little package, and you like it's this tube, and you just spit in a tube, and then you just send it off.
She sent like a huge bag. Like it was just full.
Yeah, like you have to spit a lot, but
It's gross.
it's really gross.
it's just like you drooling over a duffel bag.
It's actually just mochi.
Oh gosh. So how did it go?
Okay. Yeah. Just to kind of prep you a lot. So this is gonna be
It's really confusing.
this is gonna be a long story, and Sarah, I'm gonna say you should give the viewers a little bit of backstory about you personally before you like the current situation that you now like live, like your dad's and stuff like that. Don't give me that.
Oh, so this was more than just, I want to know if I'm part Cherokee. This was like
Yeah.
you're trying to
Yeah,
actually
this-
find
yeah.
out.
This is an
stuff.
experiment.
So
Okay, here we go. An experiment? Stop, Tim. Stop.
I'm a test tube baby.
Experiment 626.
Okay, all right, wow.
Okay, so the current situation, I have a dad in Pennsylvania. Most of my family lives up there. That's where I'm from. That is the guy who I originally thought birthed me, I guess. And then I have my stepdad, who I call my dad because he's been in my life since I was born. And that's the one that lives here. That's John. But all of my brothers, I have 4 older brothers, and they all have blue eyes. And what started this was that, like, when I was a kid, I used to be like, well, why do they all have blue eyes, but I'm the only one that has brown eyes? It just didn't make sense. And I'm trying to say this without sounding like I'm, like, bashing my parents. So, like, if my mom's listening to this, don't get mad.
Well, you have the right to know and, like, to...
Well, she's weird. Like, she's weird about this whole thing. She's not exactly happy with me. But, like, I've been kind of pressuring her over the past few years to, like, hey, I know something's up. Like, just tell me the truth. And she swore up and down that, like, I'm just crazy. Like, it's just a coincidence. So, anyway, a few months ago, my dad in Pennsylvania calls me. And he's like, hey, there's something I want you to know. I don't know how you're going to take it, but there was a guy back in, like, 1995 that was living with your mom for like just a little bit, and his name is Elliot, and I think he might be your dad. So right then and there, I was like, okay, like, my suspicions are probably right.
Mm-hmm.
And over Christmas, I asked John to get me one of those 23andMe tests, because I was like, well, let me back up. Elliot is Puerto Rican. And I was like, well, that'll tell me for sure. Like, if it shows up that I'm anything Puerto Rican, that's my answer. Because my dad, David, is not at all. My mom's not. So there's no way. So, I get the thing, I spit in the tube, send it off. And then, like, for those 6 weeks or whatever, I'm just sitting there, like, constantly checking my email for results. And then I finally get it. And, like, I was sitting with him. It was, like, 1 a.m. when I was actually looking at it. And it came up that I was Puerto Rican.
Oh, my God.
That it's, like, 11%, something like that. It technically comes up as Native American.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So that's...
She has her computer, too. So she's going to actually, like, show y'all, like, the chart.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
like
if you want to go ahead and kind of like start pulling that up, and I'll just talk for a second. So, like, as she got the information, and then she started, like, going through it, and it's like step by step. It shows you region by region.
Yeah. So, like, I went from really knowing nothing about this guy, like, just knowing his name and, like, how many Elliot are there in the world.
It's a lie, I imagined.
Like, and my dad said that he lived in New York. And I was like, well, that definitely, like, how many of those in New York City are there? Probably a lot. But so I went from knowing nothing about this guy to knowing, it's going to sound really creepy. I know what he looks like. I know that he has 3 other kids. I know where he lives, and not like his address, but I know, like, he lives in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know, the extended family too.
Yeah. Like, I found some cousins that didn't have any idea about. Like, I've actually been emailing one of I think it's my second cousin, like, back and forth, just to see, like, I'm trying to find information about this guy before I just come out and be like, hey, you're my dad.
Right. No,
like, I want to have solid concrete evidence. Like, there's no way you can deny it.
Right. Now, has that family you've reached out to, have they been, like, super helpful? Or are they kind of weirded out? Like,
well, no. The girl that I'm talking to, her name is Allison, and she's been really helpful. I mean, she doesn't know anything really, but she just emailed me the other day and, like, gave me her phone number and said, if you want to know more, like, you can call me or whatever. But there's just no one else has really messaged me back, or they just don't know anything, or
Right.
And that's nothing to, like, play around with, especially you can't, like, kid around with that kind of stuff if it's your family and you want to know. And so I understand that. And what has your family ever told you, like, what your heritage has been? For me, and clearly my family's told me that I'm part Italian. I don't look Italian, but the last name Estes is Italian. Clearly I look more. My family's told us that our roots are Irish, and I can see that a lot more.
Yeah, I'm completely German and Irish to a T, and I know that because my dad's dad is from Scotland. So, but
hell yeah,
like she'll show you like this.
Wait. Are you Scottish or Irish?
I think I should be.
I could totally see Tim as like a little Scottish man.
I mean, he has red hair.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm one of them. It doesn't matter.
But anyway, so this, not only did this come back that I'm Puerto Rican, but it also came back that I'm like 15% Spanish and Portuguese. So like, there's just no way that anybody can deny it.
Right.
Like, I don't look like it, obviously. I'm white as hell, but...
You have all this information now. You've reached out to extended family, and now you're finding out more information, but what's your steps now before?
Honestly, the only kind of contact information I have is like his last known address. So what I've been thinking about doing is writing him a letter and just sending it to that address and just crossing my fingers that if he's not there, maybe he did like a forwarding address and they'll just forward it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I wrote the letter out just like a rough draft, but I'm still just sitting on it if I want to send it or not, because that's such a huge thing. And not only that, but he just had a kid like back in April. So I have a little sister and I don't want to mess up his life. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to come in and just be like, hey, you don't know me, but 22 years ago.
Right.
So, Dad,
it's tough. It's a difficult situation.
And yeah. I mean, from like, it's weird because I found his Twitter and I followed him on Twitter, hoping that he would like follow me back, but he hasn't yet. But he doesn't really use it. But from reading his tweets, he's a really good dad. So I feel like maybe if he knew that like I'm not looking for money or anything like that, like he'd be more open to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You need to show him what he looks like too.
Oh, yeah.
I showed the photo of him to Jose at work, and Jose was like, "Oh, that looks like Sarah." Like,
without prefacing who it was.
They have kind of like the same nose and stuff like that. Like,
with the information that you have now, and you've reached out to extended family, what is your mom saying now? Because you said before she was like no help, not helping.
Okay, so without trying to bash my mom, but it's going to come off as that because, I mean, she's going to just come out and say it. She's lied to me pretty much for the past 20-something years. So, like, number one, I'm pissed because I deserve to know. Especially when I ask multiple times, like, hey, I know something's up, just tell me. Mm-hmm. I've even told her, like, I'm not going to be mad, just let me know so I know who I am. And it went from, she's claimed that she doesn't really know anything about him, like it was just like a little fling, mm-hmm. to I asked her, I was like, well, do you remember what he looks like at all, so I maybe have some kind of base as to like, when I was looking for him, like, maybe that's the person. And she was like, well, he looked like Robert Downey Jr. And I was like, okay. So I'll have to find the picture of him. Okay. But she's right, he does.
You send it to me on text, so
I'll pull up his Twitter.
What I was trying to say is I've seen these advertised and I've heard these advertised on podcasts before, and they seem like super interesting to do, and I thought about doing one, but it's like clearly I'm just white, so I don't have any like use for it. Like,
you're like what? How much percent are you European?
It says I'm 22% Eastern European and like Polish.
So, yeah, I mean, like...
And that's from my mom's side of the family.
I mean, I'd be interested to see all of us, mm-hmm. if we all did it. I wish there was a way you get, like, a multi-pack.
Yeah, Zach, what about you? Do you know anything about, like, your ancestors or where, like, your family may have come from?
I think Lake might know more than I do. Maybe not. My family did something. Maybe this was, like, Ancestry.com back when that was big. And we're, like, Irish, or I think we're Irish. And they went as far to like find like our family crest.
Yeah.
And so we have that hanging in our house, but I don't know the backstory. I don't know the details on it. Mm-hmm. Not enough to talk about it, so I don't know.
Want me to... Oh, I was going to do it, but okay.
Oh, yeah. I can definitely see it.
He's like a nice looking guy.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
the Robert Downey Jr. is definitely...
I was really shocked. I was like, man, he's really handsome and like just not someone I would picture my mom being with.
Mm-hmm.
I showed him the middle one.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good picture of him.
But yeah, I mean, he looks like sweet. He looks like a really good dad and everything too. So
yeah, and even in that letter I wrote that I'm not looking for money or anything. I just want to know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And For all I know, he doesn't even know I exist. Like, from what my mom says, she told him that she was pregnant with me, and he pretty much packed all his shit and was like, don't talk to me again. So, yeah. I mean, he knows that, like, there's a kid out there somewhere, but he doesn't know for sure that, like, it's his.
Technology is wild.
Because she was with Elliot and my dad at the same time. But that's just
so when are you going to go on Maury and be like, you are the father?
Well, that's the only way I'm going to know, like, 100% is if I do a paternity test with David, my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do it with Elliot because I don't know where he is.
But even with doing it with your dad, I mean, like...
It'll rule out that, like, he's not my dad.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's not your dad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just from, like, the whole experience. I think another, like, crazy part of it is... So, this happened when he's, like, 20...
Yeah, he was 22, so he's my age when this happened.
So, like...
And, you know, me looking at it from my standpoint, like, if I was a 22-year-old guy and someone was like, hey, I'm pregnant and it's yours, I would have done the same thing.
Especially in, like, he might have been scared and he might have known that she was, like...
With another guy.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but she had 4 other kids already, and... You know,
yeah, peace. Yeah, pretty much. I can see that, especially if it's just like it was just a temporary stay anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't looking for it to be a long-term thing because they met. I don't even like. It was called like X Band or something. It was some like game thing back in the day, and that's how they met.
Newlywed Game.
And that's how her and John met.
X Games.
The X Games.
A nerd convention.
And Animu. The first anime convention.
That's pretty interesting though. Like your whole take on it. You're not, there's no chip on your shoulder. You're not holding a grudge, and you're not out for money. So what? And excuse me if I'm overstepping, but what happens? Say you do send, if you're comfortable and you send off the letter, and he doesn't respond, or he does respond and he's like, no, you got the wrong guy.
Honestly, I haven't thought that far ahead. I think that's part of the reason why I'm so scared to send it, because I don't want him to be like, no, that's, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I have no idea who you are.
Scary.
Yeah. And I've talked to a few people about it, and they act like it's all, it's so easy to just, just like, oh, just send the letter. Like, I'm like, no, that's my whole life, and
that's a heavy letter to send.
Not only is it my life, but it's this guy's whole life. And another thing I'm thinking about is he just got married like last year. So what if his wife intercepts it? Because I don't know how they are. Some people read other people's mail, and what if she reads it, and then it just ruins everything for him? I don't want to be the reason.
Homewrecker.
Yeah.
Homewrecker.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's really tough.
And she didn't even like mention like this part of this chart. By the way, we'll flip this around so y'all can see it. But it lists out every single thing, and then the regions of where you're from, what percent of you to equal what you are, and then you can click that. You can click it, and it shows you what parts of those regions. So, like for example, we'll go to like. It tells you like what country or Italian, like what's it. She's 0.01% Jewish. Like, I mean, I guess it says that you're potentially, but like all of her relatives, like
every single relative that has come up on 23andMe, because 23andMe has this thing where it'll show you people who you have shared DNA with, and every single person except for like maybe 2 or 3 people have been Puerto Rican.
And their last name being?
Yeah, or like a surname.
Like,
wow.
Yeah.
And like, it's a super common name, but, it's a little more than a coincidence to me.
Yeah. Wow.
But it's been a journey, and I'm really, like, this last week, like, Sarah's been at home, like, most of this week, and she's just, like, been, like...
Yeah, when I first saw that, I was up all night just doing research, just trying to figure out who this guy is, and he's just pretty much like gone off the grid almost. Like, you can't find his Facebook just by searching his name. I had to, this is again going to sound really weird, but I had to find his wife's Facebook, and then that led me to his Facebook, And then that led me to his dad's Facebook. So, like, potentially my grandpa. So, like, the whole thing is just really wild.
It's wild too. Yeah.
That's
To go from, like...
But also, that's the power of Facebook. You can find anything you ever want to know.
But to go from thinking that I'm just, like, this little white girl...
Nope. 20% of...
But all that stuff just, it connects. Like, all the dots connected. And I finally felt, like, some relief, almost.
I think
because I didn't have to wonder anymore.
I'm pretty sure that's him. Like to a T. There's no way it's not him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, but again, I won't know.
You guys will find out. We'll know, hopefully, by the end of this year.
We'll see. I don't know that I want to reach out. Yeah. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I completely understand
It's a scary
that.
thing.
Absolutely.
Because it can either go really well, and he's like, yeah, like, let's meet up, let's talk. Or he could be like, no, I don't know you. Go away. Don't ruin my life.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm really cool.
Elliot, I'm sweet. I'm epic.
I got a big forehead like you too, so... He's got a big
He's going to hear
forehead.
that. He's going to be like, nah.
You had me.
Blocked.
And then... Nah.
I heard the sweet part and that you liked my tweets, but the forehead... Sorry.
She's out there throwing shade.
I still want to do one, though. They're not, like, super expensive, though, are they? I don't think they really are.
I think I get a good price.
It was like $70 for mine, and I got it when I was on sale.
Which is, like, totally worth it.
Let me see. I'm going to get
It's a cool thing to do.
So for any viewers and listeners out there, if you are someone that is similar to Sarah, or you're just curious about who you are and like what builds like your DNA.
Yeah, I definitely would say just do it.
We're not sponsoring 23andMe unless they want to sponsor us.
But also thank you 23andMe for helping me find my
If you want to do 23andMe, the DNA test, it says it's $100 at Best Buy. And sometimes you can get it on sale depending on what you're going for, but it's 23andMe, and it's really simple. It's just, I would say it's for those people that are really curious about who they are. Mm-hmm. And I guess in a situation like Sarah's, it can literally change your life and like open your horizons to answers you have no clue about.
Yeah, without doing the 23andMe, I would have just been wondering for my entire life.
It does sound like a commercial.
Yeah. That's crazy, though, man. Technology is just wild.
Paid actor, like right at the very bottom.
Dramatization.
This is not a paid actor. Yeah.
Oh, dude, Kevin just sent me my album.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Well, let's go.
Dibs.
Let's go listen to that. I kind of want to wrap it up kind of short because I want Sarah's story to be the main focus of this episode.
Okay.
I really don't want to stray too far off of that because that's a pretty heavy story.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I kind of want to keep it short this week unless you guys have anything just pending. We're shooting the reason too. We're also shooting another episode in like 2 days, so we can.
We'll have B Knot
on.
He's coming from New York, and so B Knot's going to be on our next episode.
Yeah, so
I hope I can get his little saying to start off the podcast.
I don't know what it is, so it'll be a surprise to me.
I'll tell him to do it.
But thanks, Sarah, for being on this week. Thank you for sharing with everyone your story, and
now you can go to sleep.
We'll keep everybody updated on.
I mean, I hope that it like maybe helps somebody out that is in my situation. Like just go ahead and do it.
And Sarah is very active in her like posting like on Twitter and stuff. So tell them where they can find you if they.
Shit, I don't remember my Twitter name.
It's one of the ghouls.
Yeah, it's one of those. Because it's different from my Instagram.
We'll have all of your information over on mochipodcast.com in the show notes of this episode. So, yeah. Thanks again, Sarah, for joining us. Happy birthday to my lovely host, Tim.
Happy birthday.
I'm glad that Hayden is here with us as well. You can find out everything that we talked about this week over at mochipodcast.com. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at mochipodcast.
Yeah.
And we also run a YouTube channel. You can find all of our videos over at mochipodcast.com as well. And typically week to week we answer viewer submitted questions. So if you have any questions for us or for Sarah, we can get those to her. Go to mochipodcast.com and click on the Ask Us button.
Thank you all for coming to the podcast. And we love Tim.
We love Tim.
Why are you?
We tolerate him.
Wait. We love Tim.
Welcome to your spooky day.